This is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do brick stitch fringe on a frame. Now I have a really cool little frame here, and this is what I'm going to be using. You can see my little example down there below, but this is the frame that I'm going to be using. You can use lots of different styles. We have triangles, squares, all kinds of different things, even circles you could do this. It'll just sort of curve a little bit at the bottom there, but this is the frame that we're going to be working with here today. I have two different colors of some Toho 11-0 seed beads that I'm going to be using. I have a beautiful gold and a green, and then I'm going to be using the green NYMO. I wanted it to show up a little bit. I thought it would be nice and color coordinated there. And then finally I have a little earring post. This has a little rope design on it, so I'm going to be using that to finish off our design once we're done with our bead weaving. Okay, so to begin, I have my size 12 beading needle with about 7 feet of my NYMO thread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come all the way to the end of the thread without the needle on it and leave about 6 inches or so. And what I'm going to do is go through the center there, and now I'm just going to tie a double knot and bring that down just like so. And then I'm going to tie another knot to make it a double knot, give it a nice good tug, and then for security, one more knot. Want to make sure this guy isn't going anywhere. All right. So what we're going to do is we have him at the end there, and it's on the bottom side of our little triangle, or our little trapezoid. So there we go. So he's right down there at the bottom. So the first thing that we're going to do is, you can see in my example that I've alternated the gold and the green. So what we're going to do first is we're going to pick up 2 of our green beads and 2 of our gold beads. And what we're doing here is we're going to do a brick stitch, but use 2 beads as you'd normally use 1. So let me slide that all the way down to the frame, just like so. So you have 2 green beads and 2 gold beads. Now go ahead and take that needle and go through the center there. And we want to keep all of our beads in the back, but what we want to do is we want to kind of stack them a little bit so that we create 2 little rows, just like that. And the best way to do it is to go ahead and take your needle, and what you're going to do is you're going to go up through those 2 green beads there. So let me make sure I'm not getting tangled. There we go. All right, now go up through the 2 green beads only, and go all the way up through. And this is the hardest part because you're just getting it set up, so we gotta tell them where to go. All right, perfect. So going up through just those 2 green beads there. Now go down through the gold beads, and you can see that I'm sending my needle sort of right through the center there. I want that to be coming out towards the front. So I went down through the gold, coming out towards the front, and now I can go back up through those gold beads. So if you're familiar with brick stitch, this should start to look really familiar to you. There we go. So you can tell that I've basically done brick stitch, but using 2 beads where you would normally use 1, just like so. And to continue my pattern, now I'm going to pick up 2 of the green beads. Again, kind of going down through the center, keeping those beads in the back. I like to kind of hold it with my finger there as much as I can. Keeping them in the back there and just kind of scooch them along. Oh, there we go. And now taking my needle and going up through those green beads. All right, and after every row, because this is going to be so small, I'm really just kind of giving it a little tug. You can see that I'm kind of holding it with my fingers there. So let me do that one more time with 2 gold beads, and you're just going to alternate here. Sliding that down, kind of folding it back, going through that center, and coming up through both of those gold beads. All right, and bringing it all together. Again, giving it a little tug, making sure everybody is nice and snug. So we're going to repeat that, and we're going to go until we have 5 rows of gold beads and 6 rows of green beads, and I'll meet you on the other side. All right, so I've added my rows of brick stitch there, and I'm coming out the bottom of that green bead right there to the side. So now we are ready to add our fringe. So here's what I'll say, and this is where, you know, not all seed beads are entirely created equal, so the number that's going to work for my fringe is going to feel a little crazy, but you can see that it gives a nice graduated look there at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to start by picking up 23 green beads. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. All right, let me just double check that really quick. I want to make sure that I'm accurate. All right. All right, perfect. So here's what I have so far. So I have one that I'm leaving out there because what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my thread around, and I'm actually going to go up through 22 beads here. So I left that one out at the bottom. That'll kind of be the stopper bead there at the bottom. So I'm going to go all the way back through. And what I'm going to do is once I'm through all of the beads that I just strung and kind of bring that together, I'm going to go through that little green bead there, just one of them, kind of bring that together. And you want to make sure that it's taut but not too taut. We also don't want to make sure that it's too loose, so give it a little tug there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my thread around, and I'm going to sneak it through that second bead of that gold bead there. So you can see it's just going up through just that one bead. So this is going to create a little tiny thread bridge there. There we go. But it tucks right in. So you can see when I pull it really tight, this gets really kind of crunchy. What I like to do after every one is just sort of lay it down and just sort of smooth it out there. That tends to help it. You can see that my NYMO is really relaxed here. It's very straight, so I want to keep that all happening throughout my beads there. Okay, so now for the gold beads, what we're going to do is we're going to do 24 beads, and I'm going to try to do this a little bit faster so you don't have to sit here and watch me count all day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, now I'm going to slide this down here. And you're going to see that even one more seed bead, but because it's the gold beads, they tend to be a little bit wider. You can just see there's a little bit of disparity between the sizes, even though these are both 11-0 Tohos. It just kind of happens to be the way these two coatings work. So I had to be really careful. So I thought that was a good graduation there. You can also adjust this however you see fit, but it's going to be the same technique. So go ahead and kick one of those back and take your needle and go all the way back through. And for this one, it's 23. There we go. And I'm just going to pull that all the way through. Go down through the one gold bead so we can anchor it. And then go back through that next green bead so we can get ready. Now this is where it's hard. You just gotta sneak it through. There we go. And pull it through. All right, so again, I kind of like to smooth it out. Give it a little tug, smooth it out. All right, so now we're ready to continue. Now I'm just gonna walk you through the rest of this so you can see, and then I will show you how to tie it off in the end there. Okay, so we had 23, and then for the gold, we're going to go with 24, and then we have 30, 30, 35, 36, and then that 36 one is in the middle, so you're just going to reverse it. You're going to go 35, 30, 30, 24, 23. This will all be in the full write-up for you if you head over to Beadaholique.com. I'll lay that out again for you so it's a little easier to see. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to tie this off. Okay, so I have my last piece of fringe here, and you can just see I'm scooting back and then going all the way up through. There we go. And now you can kind of come all the way back up through to that very top and go all the way through both of those 2 seed beads. And now we have our 2 little ends here. And what you can do is take them and create a quick little knot. Again, that same little, just overhand knot, and that should sit right in there. Now our tail should be good to clip off, but for this one, I'm just going to string it back down through a couple of adjacent beads there, just into the green, so that it can really just be extra secure. And right down through there. All right, so now I can come in with a pair of scissors or snips, and I'm going to snip off as close as I can to those beads there. Snip that one, and snip that one. All right, and the last thing that we're going to need to do here is we're just going to add our earring post. Now this earring post is actually very cool. It has a little loop in the back here, and you can just open it up. It's an open little loop, so you just twist it with a pair of chain nose pliers, and you can slip your earring on here, and then just close that back up just like you would any other jump ring, and make sure it's got a nice good closure there. But that is how you can easily do a pair of fringe earrings. Now I encourage you to play around with some patterns. You can get some pretty chevrons. I wanted to keep mine really simple here, just in those little stripes there. That's what I was trying to say. But you could do some chevrons, you could do some diamonds, you can create some really fun little extra pieces there. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. You can get all of these supplies and see this full tutorial written up for you by heading over to Beadaholique.com.